The mind is everything. What you think, you become. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. You are what your deep, driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. The soul is the same in all living creatures, although the body of each is different. He who experiences the unity of life sees his own self in all beings and all beings in his own self, and looks on everything with an impartial eye. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. The one who is established in self, who has balanced reactions of joy and sorrow and is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is the truly wise. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes. In the joy of others lies our own. The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. Your life is a message to the world. Make sure it's inspiring. Knowledge is the greatest treasure. The heart is the only book worth reading. The fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a person spreads in all directions. The only lasting beauty is the beauty of the heart. Happiness is not at the end of the journey, but along the way. Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render to the world. As you think, so you become. Think well and you will be well. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. To understand everything is to forgive everything. Do not be led by others. Awaken your own mind. Amass your own experience and decide for yourself your own path. The mind is like a parachute. It works best when it is open. The greatest prayer is patience. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart give yourself to it. Wisdom is the daughter of experience. Let yourself be open, and life will be easier. A spoon of salt in a glass of water makes the water undrinkable. A spoon of salt in a lake is almost unnoticed. The highest form of human intelligence is to observe yourself without judgment. What you seek is seeking you. The more you give, the more you will receive. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worry about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly. To live a pure, unselfish life, one must count nothing as one's own in the midst of abundance. The mind, when housed within a healthful body, possesses a glorious sense of power. It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Where there is love, there is no question. The real question is not whether life exists after death. The real question is whether you are alive before death. Don't be satisfied with stories how things have gone with others. Unfold your own myth. The roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. A person experiences life as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of consciousness. Our task must be to free ourselves from this self-imposed prison. Knowledge without action is meaningless. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows. You are what you think. All that you are arises from your thoughts. With your thoughts, you make your world. The greatest mistake you can make in life is to continually be afraid you will make one. Happiness radiates like the fragrance from a flower and draws all good things towards you. The purpose of our lives is to be happy. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. You have within you right now everything you need to deal with whatever the world can throw at you. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it empties today of its strength. It is better to travel well than to arrive. The harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Do not look for a sanctuary in anyone except yourself. In a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth and have begun striving for ourselves. When the mind is quiet, the soul will speak. It is not that the person needs to accommodate himself to the world, but to be aware of how it functions. The goal of all life is death. A fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. When the pupil is ready, the master will appear. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. There is no wealth like knowledge, and no poverty like ignorance. The world is a bridge. Cross it, but build no house upon it. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. It is better to live your own destiny imperfectly than to live an imitation of somebody else's life with perfection. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create. A jug fills drop by drop. In the sky, there is no distinction of east and west. People create distinctions out of their own minds and then believe them to be true. What we think, we become. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. Health is the greatest gift, contentment the greatest wealth, faithfulness the best relationship. You cannot travel the path until you have become the path itself. The foot feels the foot when it feels the ground. To abstain from lying is essentially wholesome. A disciplined mind brings happiness. In separateness lies the world's great misery. In compassion lies the world's true strength. A wise man, recognizing that the world is but an illusion, does not act as if it is real, so he escapes the suffering. One who conquers himself is greater than another who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 on the battlefield. If a man's thoughts are muddy, if he is reckless and full of deceit, how can he wear the yellow robe?